decided to make this video because a friend of mine a couple of years ago told me that my bass, my fretless bass, was going out of fashion. And I would like to say that I disagree. Instruments do not go out of fashion. Let me show you a list of things that can go out of fashion. And some of them come back and then they become classics. Instruments do not come in and out of fashion. Styles do. Maybe the reason is the search for perfection is all very well, but to look for heaven is to live here in hell. That was Sting, and I was so smart. Yeah, the thing is now they want to quantize everything to the 16th note, so the computer is getting the drums and it's for dancing. I think this is more for the sake of dancing. And then the tuning, now you can pick a note on the bass. Even if it's a short note, the program will hold it for you and will tell you if it's sharp or flat. But the thing is, that's killing the human feel of the music. So I'm going to show you a few things that you can do on the fretless that you cannot do on the frets, and some things that you can do on the frets that you cannot do on the fretless, because I like both. But the main reason why the fretless is not that popular is because it's more difficult to tune, to keep in tune, to play the whole track in tune. So, and now what they do is they make the computer tune, which is, I don't think it's a good idea. A little bit of history of the bass. The upright acoustic bass or contrabass was developed in the 1600s, and it got popular more in the 1700s. Before that they only had cellos. Then in the 1940s, or maybe before that, people started experimenting with pickups electric pickups, and they developed the electric bass. Nobody knows who invented the first bass. Rickenbacker, Fender, and Gibson were the first. Then BC Rich, Pedula, Fodera, Tobias, and a bunch of other brands. But it was called the Fender bass. The bass guitar was called the Fender bass, no matter what brand it was. Then they invented the electroacoustic, which is acoustic instruments with a pickup, and this changed everything because now you cannot call it acoustic bass, you cannot call it electric bass, because it's both, it's acoustic and electric. So the fretless was invented back then too, back in maybe the around 1950s. There was a Fender Precision fretless, but it had no lines. It was all wood, like an upright bass with just a board. And Jaco Pastorius was the one who developed the fretless with the lines, because he just took the frets off with a knife and filled the gaps and started playing, and he liked the sound. And that's what I was gonna say, you know, don't imitate Jaco, because then you're gonna sound out of fashion. But if you create your own style, then you sound okay. So intonation, not to be confused with tone, okay? Because I had a friend that when I took my bass, I had new strings and it sounded very, very bright, like this. And we were playing some Latin music, so I think he wanted a more muffled sound. So he tells me, hey, there's something wrong with your intonation. That's not intonation, okay? That's tone. Timbre or timbre is when you have a flute, you have a guitar, you have a bass, or you have a violin or something. Tone is how well that sound is produced. And intonation is about tuning, okay? That's just for the people that don't know. Intonation is, to intonate an instrument means that you're gonna play that note, and when you play an octave higher, it's gonna sound the same note. I'm gonna show you how to do it a little later, but I just wanted to establish that, and also that this bass is a lot easier to play in tune, because everything but this tuning is the temperament tuning. So in reality there's other tunings that sound better than this, and then that's what you can achieve with the fretless, more singing, especially on the thirds. If I tune this, I tune it with the harmonics. I think it's the best way. Some people don't like that, because the harmonics sometimes are not exactly in tune. But down here it's okay, you can do that. So if you play a third here, that's actually out of tune. You would have to raise the third, push a little bit, and that sounds better. I'm pushing it a little bit, I'm bending the string a little bit. It's a very subtle difference, but it's true, you know. In the old times, it used to be F sharp was not the same as G flat. Here,